What is the best programming language for you to learn in 2023? Short answer is JavaScript. The long answer, of course, is that it depends. But in this video, I'm going to talk through the different options and make it simple. Now, the most important thing to focus on when starting programming and when choosing a language is to make it fun. Now, what do I mean by that and why is it important? Programming, like many things, is a skill. And in order to master it and to land that job as a software engineer, you're going to need to spend time and energy to practice and to learn. And if you're having fun with the process and you're enjoying programming, you're going to be much more likely to spend that time, to put in that effort. This is sometimes referred to as the confidence cycle. On the other hand, if you choose a language that has a high barrier to entry and the process itself is discouraging, then you're going to be less inclined to spend that time to get good at it. So when choosing a language, what you really need to focus on is finding the language that has the shortest time from nothing till when you can print hello world, render something on the screen, feel the power of the cosmos flowing through your fingertips as you write code and reshape the world. And so, in my opinion, that language is JavaScript. Now, why is it JavaScript? With JavaScript, there are many sites you can go to on the internet right now where you can just start writing code, running the code, and seeing what happens. You don't need to install anything. You don't need to think about an IDE. You don't need to learn the command line. So the barrier to entry is tiny. You could stop this video right now. I'm going to leave some links in the description of some sites you can go to and just start learning JavaScript right now in the browser. So you can't do much better than that. Now, obviously, there are other languages that have similar tools, code sandboxes, where you can start programming in that language. Python, Golang. At this point, there's probably something available for every programming language out there. However, in my opinion, the options available right now for JavaScript are much more mature. And part of that is because JavaScript is the only language that is native to web browsers, right? There is a site you could go to now where you can code and render a full web page right in the browser. And that's not something you can do yet, or at least not easily, in other programming languages. Another reason for JavaScript is the variety of things you can do with it. If you know JavaScript, you can work in the front end, you can work in the back end, you can do game development. There's a lot of different things you can do with JavaScript, which also means it has a very strong ecosystem. A lot of developers using JavaScript means more tutorials, more people to help answer your questions, and all these things are critical to minimizing your frustration with the learning process and to maximizing your fun. Now, all that said, JavaScript may not be the best language for everyone. If you already know a specific domain that you want to go into, and there is a language dominant in that field, by all means, start with that language. If you are learning programming because you want to be a data scientist, by all means, start with Python. If you are wanting to go into game development and you have your heart set on Unity, start with C#. That is perfectly fine. Again, the idea is to make it fun. So if doing data science or doing game development, that's going to be fun for you, then harness that and ride that to mastery. Because, and this is maybe the second answer to the question, it really doesn't matter which programming language you start with. It really doesn't matter because you are not stuck with the first language you start learning. When you do start learning a language, you are learning the specific syntax and libraries of that language, but you are also learning fundamentals of programming and software engineering that are going to be transferable. And once you have gone through that process, you understand some of these principles, you have the confidence, and you're kind of in a positive feedback loop with learning programming, then by all means, I would encourage you to experiment with a few different languages. If you started learning JavaScript, take a look at Python, take a look at Rust. Enough to play with their syntax, notice the differences between what you're used to, how they do things differently. Maybe you'll find one language that resonates with you more, and then by all means, switch to that. But when you are first learning programming, again, focus on the fun. Find the language which has the shortest path to that fun, the least amount of roadblocks and frustration between you and writing your first lines of code, and don't let anything stop you. So in my opinion, today and probably for a long while, that is JavaScript. The ecosystem of support is there. The ability to just start going right in your browser is there, and that's the most important thing. So I guess that's it. It's going to be a short video. I will leave some links in the description where you can go just start getting your feet wet with programming, writing your browser. So have fun, and I'll see you in the next video.